This is the QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studio on Caraba Avenue, and I am Lena Igwenyiba. Thanks for joining us. Heather News Headlines. Reports are coming in of a tragic incident in Essel in the North Bank region, in which 7 men working on an electricity pole have reportedly been electrocuted and killed. On Wednesday, the Ministry of Information held its monthly press conference featuring officials from the Gambia Medicines Control Agency and the Gambia Tourism Board. The National Environment Agency and partners launched a comprehensive 5-year national action plan on Wednesday to tackle plastic pollution in the Gambia. Halifa Saleh, the Secretary General of the People's Democratic Organization for Independence and Socialism, DOI, called for systematic change to tackle the Gambia's development disparities. In international news, today marks 62 years since Uganda gained independence from British colonial rule on October 9, 1962. Those were the headlines. Now the news in detail. Reports are coming in of a tragic incident in Essel in the North Bank region, in which 7 men working on an electricity pole have reportedly been electrocuted and killed. We now have on the line Buba Baji, Communication Officer for the National Water and Electricity Company, NAWEC. Hello, Mr. Baji. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening.
Thank you. We've had the reports of 7 people being killed in this recent tragic incident. Can you please tell us exactly the circumstances of what happened?
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. This was a subcontractor under the main contractor KEI. We also got reports that men were electrocuted by with a NAWEC pole. Normally, when contractors are working with when they are getting close to our system, what normally happens is we do a shutdown. They send a request and we do a shutdown. But unfortunately, this didn't happen this time. The only thing we knew, they are working there when they were electrocuted. Then that's the time we got the news and then sent an emergency team to the area as we speak.
So they are not staffs of NAWEC. Were they subcontracted?
No, you see, yes, they are not NAWEC staff. 1, 2, they are. This is a JAM project, the electricity restoration and modernization projects, ongoing within the regions. So this is part of the North Bank. It is contracted to a contractor called KEI under the EcoRip project. So this KEI also have a subcontractor, which I'm not privy to the name as of now. Perhaps in subsequent time I will get it. But the subcontractors team was the guys working there without NAWEC putting off the line, because we are not aware of their involvement into the line. All we knew is they are doing an expansion job, and then they are not yet connected to the grid. So on normal circumstances, they should not have contacted. What happened until they got contact to be electrocuted is yet to be known to us. We are still doing an investigation is mounted to the matter as we speak.
So as investigations are currently on, what has happened to these bodies?
Yes, that's a very good question. Yeah, the project, I know for that part and that area there will be a hold, and then the contractor will come back. I think what is going to happen is by tomorrow we will all sit together, brainstorm, and what's the go ahead with the way forward. It's unfortunate and it's a tragedy for losing 7 individuals at the same time. It's very sad.
It is quite unfortunate, Mr. Baji, and I must say the public may be worried. So what is any assurance you have to give the public on this incident?
Honestly, what the assurance I can give the public is 100%, because you see, high tension lines is very difficult to reach them. Normally, what is happening throughout the whole country, even if you retract back our messages on our post, whenever a contractor will have a connection, we will switch off. We will write to NAWEC, and NAWEC will switch off until they are done. Unfortunately, this didn't happen. The reason it didn't happen is yet unknown to us. But most of the time, 99%, you can't touch our lines without NAWEC knowing it. It's not possible. But how they touch it, that's a nightmare as I'm talking there right now. We don't know. But the team have already crossed, and they are now at the scene as I'm talking there. But the bodies are already transported to RBT at this moment now.
Well, thank you, Mr. Baji, for being here with us, and we would stay updated with the investigation as it progresses. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Now, from that, on to other news. On Wednesday, the Ministry of Information held its monthly press conference featuring officials from the Gambia Medicines Control Agency and the Gambia Tourism Board to shed more light on issues relating to their respective institutions. Aliou Cisse was there, and he now reports.
At this press conference are heads of both institutions accompanied by their respective senior officials. They are here to update the public on the state of affairs in various governments, ministries, departments and agencies. Dr. Essa Marena, Executive Director of the Gambia Medicine Control Agency, says the agency was established in 2015 by an Act of Parliament to monitor and regulate the import, sale and use of medical products, including conventional and herbal medicines and cosmetics. The agency is also mandated to license drugs and related products for importers and manufacturers and to inspect drugs and their storage.
By law, only airport, seaport, and the 4 border posts are allowed for people to bring in any product that is regulated by MCA. You have Amdalai Port, it's a legal, Amdalai border, it's a legal border. Ker Ayub in Farafenye is a legal one. You have Sabi and Jiboro. Any other border or port of entry you bring in products is illegal. Your products could be seized and could be confiscated. You could also be prosecuted for that.
Dr. Marina urges the public to stay away from illegal drugs importation and activities and to report any suspicion of poor quality drugs in the market. To what extent they are able to regulate the quality and safety of herbal medicines, Dr. Marina explains.
We don't regulate herbs themselves. So herbs are the raw ones. These are the leaves, bark of the tree, roots of the tree, flowers. We don't regulate those ones. The leaves at the Serekunda market for sale or the herbs, we don't regulate those ones.
Abubakar Kamara, Director General of the Gambia Tourism Board, said his institution is mandated to promote the Gambia as a leading tourist destination and says the sector has experienced shocks in recent years.
This has actually put us down and I can tell you that as far as statistics are concerned, in 2021, numbers went down for about 41%.
After what he believed to be an aggressive marketing in both traditional and non-traditional tourist markets, DG Kamara predicts a successful tourist season which commences this month. This is his response to the effects of the airport security fee on tourist arrivals and a petition filed by some staff of GT Board to the National Assembly alleging several irregularities and corruption.
I know that some of our tourists do complain about it, but we are telling them that it's a government policy, and I think the best that we can do is to be able to reduce the queuing at the airport. The petition, yes. Yes, I've been hearing from the grapevine that there's a petition and it was been already there are resolutions, but as far as I'm concerned, we have not received any communication about that. So I will not be able to comment on that too.
Information Minister Dr. Ismail Assise said the Foreign Ministry has initiated a process to immediately repatriate all Gambians in Lebanon as the situation in the Middle East escalates. He also said all activities in the ecological critical wetland area at Cape Point have been suspended by the Ministry of Lands, and violation of or a failure to comply with this order could lead to forced removal and legal action. The Information Minister announced plans are at an advanced stage to change the name of the Ministry of Information to the Ministry of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services once it is gazetted to better reflect the ministry's role. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
The National Environment Agency, NEA, and partners launched a comprehensive 5-year national action plan on Wednesday to tackle plastic pollution in the Gambia. This initiative aims to unify national efforts against plastic waste, promote recycling, and enhance awareness of the dangers associated with plastic pollution. Ansumane Isonyasi has the details.
In 2015, the Gambia made history by enacting one of the most significant legislative frameworks, banning the sale and use of plastic. This move garnered widespread praise from environmental advocates worldwide. However, nearly a decade later, challenges in enforcing the ban persist. Nevertheless, stakeholders remain steadfast in their commitment to ensure full enforcement and protect the country's coastlines, which continue to be impacted by plastic waste. The National Action Plan was collaboratively developed with the UK-based Common Seas Organization, endorsed by the UN. Dr. Dauda Baji, Executive Director of the National Environment Agency, emphasized that the National Action Plan serves as a comprehensive framework for addressing plastic pollution in the Gambia. He expressed gratitude to the government for its strong commitment and support in developing this initiative. Dr. Baji noted that the implementation of this plan, alongside existing national laws like the 2007 anti-littering law, will significantly enhance efforts to combat plastic pollution.
We are gathered here today to show a clear manifestation that we care for our environment at the same time for our health. This is because environment has a direct manifestation on our health status.
Thais Vovodik, Director for Business and Government Partnerships at Common Seas, and Babukar Boy, Gambia's Minister for Public Service, stated that the National Action Plan provides a clear roadmap to reduce plastic pollution in the Gambia by at least 80% over the next decade. They emphasized the significant impact of plastic pollution on both the environment and human health, noting that the Gambia generated approximately 23,000 tons of plastic waste in 2021. This underscores the critical need for developing and implementing a robust national action plan.
Having a plan that is comprehensive, overarching, long-term, and includes both upstream and downstream measures shows that the country is becoming a front runner in this space because it's taking action ahead of the adoption of the upcoming Global Plastics Treaty.
The government of the Gambia recognizes the negative impact of plastic in our ecosystems and the effect it has on our food chain. Consequently, as a country, there is need to show our full commitment to the development of the National Action Plan and its implementation.
The event also included presentations of the National Action Plan and a panel discussion. Officials highlighted that despite its small size, the Gambia is one of the most biodiverse countries in the world per square mile, home to a rich array of ecosystems. However, these ecosystems face significant threats due to the country's plastic pollution challenges. Projections indicate that plastic waste generation could increase by 42% by the end of the year, underscoring the importance of this action plan. The initiative aims to eliminate single-use plastic carrier bags, address other plastic waste problems, such as the indiscriminate dumping of plastic waste in much of our public places, and to tackle food and drink packaging, among various other measures. Answane Sonyase for KTV News.
Now, Halifa Saleh, the Secretary General of the People's Democratic Organization for Independence and Socialism, DOI, called for systematic change to tackle the country's development disparities. He made this statement during a press conference at the DOI headquarters in Churchillstown. Usman Jatta was there and filed this report.
For 3 decades, the People's Democratic Organization for Independence and Socialism, DOI, has been advocating for systemic change, stressing that power should reside with the people. Despite their advocacy, several elections have shown that the electorate is not yet ready to give DOI the opportunity to implement its vision for the Gambia. During the party's latest press conference, cameramen and journalists focused intently on the high table, eagerly awaiting Secretary General Halifa Saleh's message.
We are convinced that the people are not satisfied with the change that took place in 2016 and its aftermath. Since they are not satisfied, it is for them to tell us why they are not satisfied and what type of Gambia they want. When they answer that question, they will also know the type of leadership they want.
According to DOI, the party is committed to engaging the public through an upcoming nationwide tour, which Halifa Saleh refers to as the final phase.
We are ready to move as a leadership to engage in a countrywide tour, starting from the 20th of October up to the 31st, to meet our members, to meet the leadership of the party in the regions, as well as the citizens of the country, to engage in a national conversation on the future of this country.
In 2022, the DOI SG announced his retirement from electoral politics, but gave assurances that his love for the country and its people remains steadfast. DOI believes that the Gambia must evolve into a society that is free, fair, and better for all its citizens, SG Sala elaborates.
Food, water, and security constitute the basis of building human civilization. Any people that cannot provide that to a people cannot possibly live on the face of this earth in prosperity.
Honorable Sala is convinced that the Gambia possesses the necessary resources to transform the narrative for its citizens.
We are convinced that in agriculture, we can get the farmers to continue to own their land, and we can have a cooperative bank that will give them the seed, fertilizer, and farming implements they need to be able to produce enough rice. The fact is evident. Over 550,000 hectares of arable land.
Here is Halifa Saleh's advice on fostering the growth of the country's economy.
The economy can only work if all the sectors of production work. We must make agriculture to work. We must make industry to work. We must make services to work. At the moment, they are not working.
The present question remains, are Gambians ready to allow his party the opportunity to demonstrate its socialist ideology? The party currently has 2 National Assembly members out of the 58-seat chamber. Osman Chata, reporting for QTV News.
From that story, we now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have more local, international, and sports news stories. Do stay tuned.
Q Money and Orange Money has just made money transfer easier. Now you can send money from Gambia to Senegal directly from your Q Money wallet. So what are you waiting for? Get your Q Money account now and start sending money to your friends and families through Orange Money in Senegal now. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to the future of transportation in the Gambia. The Bertel-Harding Highway, a 22-kilometer double carriageway, is set to revolutionize travel and connectivity in our beloved country. The Bertel-Harding Highway is transforming transportation in the Gambia with new roundabouts and vehicular overpasses. But safety must come first. Standing along the road or at roundabouts to flag down taxis creates unsafe conditions and unnecessary traffic jams. Remember, always board taxis at designated taxi garages or the garas located at major traffic points. Drivers stopping in no stopping zones will be penalized. Let's keep our roads clear and safe. Together, we can ensure a safe and efficient journey for all.
Welcome back, and this is QTV News. The Media Academy for Journalism and Communication in the Gambia, MAJAC, with funding from Germany's Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, BMZ, on Wednesday unveiled the Young Women Media and Information Literacy Initiative YOMIL project. Loliam Kamara was at the ceremony and filed this report.
The YOMIL project focuses on building media competence, fostering critical thinking, and promoting responsible information sharing. The project seeks to empower and promote the inclusion of young women in the Gambia's media sector through media and information literacy training, among other initiatives. Meta Toure, the project manager of YOMIL, told us about the scope of the project.
The project will train 280 young women in the media and civil society organizations across all the regions in the Gambia. They will go through training on digital literacy, advocacy, analysis, and critical thinking, among other thematic areas.
Furthermore, Madam Toure revealed that the project will host in the Gambia the first ever Women in Media Summit, scheduled for May 2025.
The summit is also designed to serve as a pioneering platform that highlights and tackles gender disparities in the Gambian media landscape. It will foster networking, mentorship, and strategic development among young media professionals, students, and key stakeholders.
James Baji, the Director of Training at Majak, while underscoring the need and timeliness of the project, gave assurances of his institution's continued support to the project. Nene McDowell Gay, Chairperson, Access to Information Commission, and Ami Bojan Sisoho, Director of Press and Public Relations, Office of the President, respectively, highlighted the crucial role of media literacy in today's rapidly evolving media landscape.
I would applaud Gambian women in the media who have been doing a tremendous job in the quest for gender equality, and indeed, gains have been made in this area. Recognizing the impact media has in shaping and influencing, use the media to educate, sensitize, use it for awareness campaigns. Make sure the content is fit for purpose. The content should align with the aspirations geared towards gender equality.
As young people in the Media Information Literacy Project, be change agents that hold public officials accountable, but be professional, ethical, and you will better influence society. Manifest the feminine nature of uplifting, love, respect for others without being naive.
The launch of Your Mill is a significant step in efforts to promote gender equality and empower young women in the Gambia. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
On Tuesday, 50 service providers participated in a capacity-building training organized by the Sub-Saharan Africa Women's Empowerment and Demographic Dividend Project Plus, SWED Plus, under the Ministry of Health. The training focused on gender-based violence, sexual exploitation and abuse, and sexual harassment. Loliam Kamara tells us more.
The 50 service providers are from various security sectors, including the PIU, CAF, GPF, GID, and GFS. The initiative aims to strengthen service providers' capacity to prevent, mitigate, and respond to sex and gender-based violent crimes. In her opening remarks, Fantabai Seka, Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Health, emphasized the significance of intersectoral cooperation in addressing gender-based violence, sexual exploitation and abuse, and sexual harassment. She highlighted that effectively tackling these issues demands a unified approach.
It shows we're all interlinked, and in that if we strengthen each other, we will certainly protect the vulnerable person within our community and within society. Gender-based violence affects everybody, and you must be able to understand the techniques in which you do your interviews, especially those at the airport.
Momodu M. Jallo, Assistant Superintendent of the Gambia Police Force, speaking on behalf of the Chief of Operations, acknowledged that the training will significantly equip officers with the essential tools and knowledge needed to enhance their response to gender-based violence and related issues.
Having such training will enhance and also build our capacity as officers to know when our rights are violated or when we violate other people's rights. Sexual and gender-based violence is not here for only the women, but then it talks about both genders. So like I said, it is a misinterpretation that people have, but then with the training, I believe people's knowledge will be widened and then it will broaden their perspective about gender-based violence.
Experts led practical sessions that encourage participants to share their experiences and challenges while providing hands-on strategies to improve collaboration among various service providers. Here is Fabian I. Grant Sanya, GBV, SEA, and SH focal person.
Despite progressive policies and high-level commitments, overall progress on implementation has been slow, owing to a lack of political will and inadequate accountability mechanism. More must now be done to implement these policies, and the security personnel must be seen as essential partners in translating national level policies into real change.
According to the Gambia's 2020-2021 Demographic and Health Survey, 48% of women aged 15 to 49 have experienced physical violence at least once since the age of 15. Additionally, 41% of ever-married women in the same age group have encountered some form of emotional, physical, or sexual violence from a husband or partner. Going forward, the trained service providers are expected to share the knowledge they gain within their respective sectors. This will ensure that all stakeholders involved in the GBV, SEA, and SH response are better equipped to provide comprehensive support. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
Up next is international news. That's all we have for you in this bulletin. Join us again for more news stories. Thank you for joining.